The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, one of the most breathtaking football grounds in the world, built to host Champions League nights, global superstars, and NFL games watched by millions and potentially this.
Wrexham hosting Portsmouth in the Sky Bet EFL Championship.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I want to start today by saying I take no pleasure in this. None whatsoever. Okay, that's a lie. Let's get into it. Before we talk about what happens after relegation, we need to talk about the man at the center of one of football's most baffling storylines of recent memory.
Our guest this week is Ange Postecoglou.
Passionate, builder of teams, preacher of attacking football. The man who walked into Tottenham Hotspur, a club in chaos, and said, with complete confidence, we'll always be playing for something. And in my second year, we'll win a trophy. He wasn't wrong. Ange Postecoglou led Tottenham Hotspur to Europa League glory, an actual trophy. Their first major honor in, and I cannot stress this enough, 16 years. Spurs fans were crying in the streets. Grown adults, sobbing. It was beautiful. So naturally, they sacked him. The man won them a European trophy, the first silverware most of those fans had seen in their adult lives. And the boardroom looked at that, looked at the league table, and said, yeah, no, we're good, thanks. The manager who replaced him,
Thomas Frank.
tasked with keeping Spurs in the Premier League. The manager after that,
Igor Tudor.
also tasked with keeping Spurs in the Premier League. Spoiler, you're watching a video about Spurs getting relegated. Draw your own conclusions, and here we are. 16th place, 4 points above the drop. And somewhere in the world, completely vindicated and absolutely not losing sleep about this. Well, not really. He is just complaining about them on the overlap, but we move on. Now let's paint a picture. It's May. It's the last day of the season. Spurs need a result. They don't get it. The final whistle blows. The Spurs players stand on the pitch, staring into the middle distance like men who have just been told their Wi-Fi is being canceled. The fans are doing that thing where you can't tell if they're laughing or crying honestly. At this point, it's both. Back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, that £1 billion palace, the chairman makes a statement. It will, of course, include the phrase, "This is not acceptable," and we will be conducting a full review. There will be no full review. There will be a new manager, though. There's always a new manager. The stadium, built for Champions League anthems and sold out 62,000 crowds, will now host Derby County. Right. So the dust settles, and now comes the fun part, watching the squad essentially dissolve like a wet paper bag. Within about 48 hours of relegation being confirmed, every agent in European football suddenly becomes very hard to reach for Spurs. Funny how that works? Let's go through the roster, shall we? Mickey van der Ven, arguably the fastest center back in the Premier League. The man is an absolute athletic freak. Defenders aren't supposed to move like that. Will he stay and do that in the Championship? Van der Ven, who has every top club in Europe monitoring him, will have his phone absolutely melting with calls the morning after relegation is confirmed. Real Madrid, Liverpool, Inter Milan. Everyone wants him. Nobody offering is called Tottenham Hotspur. He will leave. He will thrive. And every Spurs fan will have to watch him winning trophies for the next decade and whisper that was hours into the void. Christian Romero, World Cup winner, Argentine warrior. A man who would absolutely shank you in the leg and apologize with such genuine warmth that you'd thank him for it. Championship football? Cutie Romero did not win a World Cup with Argentina to play against Watford on a Wednesday. I respect that. I respect it deeply. He'll be back in Serie A or at a Champions League club within the month, and he'll probably win something. Spurs fans will clap him when he leaves because what else can you do? James Maddison, creative midfielder, cost a lot of money. Has a release clause triggered automatically by relegation. Maddison will be doing a photo shoot in a new kit before the championship fixtures are even announced. He'll post a nice message on Instagram thanking the fans. It will get 200,000 likes. He will not look back. The goalkeeper, the remaining defenders, the £40 million striker who scored 6 goals, all gone. The players who DO stay will be either incredibly loyal, incredibly confused about their contract situation, or have literally no other offers, possibly all three. The academy kids will be thrown in at the deep end. Some of them are 17. One of them is technically still in his GCSEs. And the manager? Oh, there'll be a new one. Proper championship manager. Someone who describes himself as a fighter in the press conference. Someone who uses the phrase "we go again" a minimum of 4 times per interview. The fans won't have heard of him. His Wikipedia page will have 3 sentences. Welcome to the championship. Now, the championship is actually a brilliant league. Exciting, intense, passionate football. Fantastic for the clubs that belong there. Spurs do not belong there. Let me describe what a typical Tuesday night now looks like for a Tottenham fan. It's 7:45 p.m. It's raining. Of course, it's raining. It's always raining in the championship. Spurs are away at Stoke City. The pitch looks like a farmer's field after a flood. The away end is half full. The Stoke striker, a 34-year-old who used to be at Wolves, has just roughed up your center back in a way that would have had VAR reviewing it for 20 minutes in the Prem. There is no VAR. Nobody cares. Stoke are 1-0 up now, and they are parking that bus like crazy. Spurs can't handle it. They lose. And after the match, your new manager goes to the camera and says, "We go again?" Meanwhile, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, that cathedral of modern football, has been partially rented out to host a housing exhibition on weekdays because the club needs the revenue. The NFL still plays there, though. The NFL doesn't care about leagues. There are positives, though, and I want to be balanced here. The championship means Spurs become the biggest club in the league overnight. Every away end will be sold out. Fans of other clubs will finally get to tick off visiting that incredible stadium. It's like going to the Sistine Chapel for a car boot sale. Also, and hear me out, beating Bristol 4-0 does go kind of hard. Okay, real talk for a second. Can Spurs come back from this? History says maybe. Look at Newcastle, relegated in 2009. Now they're a Champions League club backed by Saudi billions. Manchester City were in division, won in the 1990s. Now they've won basically everything. Even Leeds United. Wait, bad example. They're also struggling. The thing is, Spurs have some massive advantages. They have a world-class stadium, a global fan base, and a brand that still means something internationally. Kids in Mumbai and Lagos still wear Spurs shirts. That doesn't just disappear. The golden era, the Pochettino years, the Champions League final, the sold-out European nights. That already feels like a lifetime ago. Rebuilding back to that level, with players like Van de Ven and Romero already gone, that's not a one-season fix. That could take the better part of a decade. What Spurs need is a rebuild from the bottom up. Clear strategy, stable ownership, a director of football who actually does director of football things, a manager they commit to for more than one bad run of results, and a striker. God, they need a striker. Can they get back to Champions League nights at that stadium? Yes, absolutely yes. Will they? I mean, we go again. So there you have it. Tottenham Hotspur, a club with a £1 billion stadium, a storied history, and a fan base that has suffered more than almost anyone in football, potentially heading to the championship. If you're a Spurs fan watching this, I'm sorry, genuinely. Well, partly genuinely. If you're not a Spurs fan watching this, you're welcome. If you're Mickey Van de Ven watching this and wondering whether to trigger that release clause, mate, we understand. No hard feelings. Seriously. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments, do you think Spurs will survive the drop? Let's argue about it. I'll see you in the next one.